Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Paul Breakfast Show. Of course, you can see on your screen we have Paul Richards and Richard Raghubar Singh as well.
Good morning. Welcome.
Hi, and Wendell Steven.
And that's Wendell. He's in his car.
Departure.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes. How are you this morning?
Yeah, so far so good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. What is your mental state given the last couple of days? How are you feeling?
Right now, this moment, I'm just excited for tomorrow morning's hearing in the High Court. It's the only thing I'm focused on. The last week has been exhausting. We'll say physically and mentally exhausting. But right now, this morning, I feel energized and excited about tomorrow.
Mr. Hughes, could you give us a current status as to the charges that have been proffered against you?
Yeah.
Because we're hearing some and we're not hearing some. What exactly are the charges proffered against you thus far?
Sedition. Sedition is the only charge, but I'm also facing a deportation order right now as well.
And what's the basis of the deportation order that you've been told about?
No basis at all. They haven't given any reasoning.
So not to your attorneys?
Correct.
So you've been, on one hand, you are in the country to fulfill the mandates of a bail situation, right? So you're here because you have to be here because the court said your condition of bail is to be in the country.
Yes.
And if you did not come into the country, you'd be running afoul of the law.
Yes.
And on the other hand, you're here because of the bail situation and your mandate to be here because of the bail situation, but you're facing a deportation order. Make it make sense.
Doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. My lawyers contacted the DPP office yesterday and they were not aware of the deportation order either. None of it makes sense to me. I was picked up in the night last week, arrested, guns pointed at me, etc. Almost like a movie. SUVs, blacked out SUVs, everybody in ski masks, arrest me, no reasoning, no. Now, I know I'm not at home in Canada. I don't know all the laws here. In Canada, when you're arrested, they tell you why you're arrested, give you an opportunity to speak to a lawyer, etc. None of that happened. I was brought to a detention center, which I spent 72 hours in solitary confinement. My lawyer was not allowed there. They had to get in front of a judge to get whatever the proper wording is, to have the ability to come even see me. But even till today, none of it makes sense to me. Since I've been in the country due to my appearance, my passport has been taken away from me since day one. I don't have the ability to leave the country. I wish I could leave the country. So again and again, it's like the country wants me to leave, but they won't give me the ability to leave, or somebody in the country. Because again,
just for clarification, we do have those laws. When you're detained under the Constitution and the laws of Trinidad and Tobago, you're entitled to know why you're being detained, why you're being arrested.
Right.
And you do have a right to counsel and you do have a right to vote.
Right.
When you say you're facing deportation orders, walk us through that. Have your attorneys been told that you are and been given the document of the deportation order and the grounds to the deportation? They've been given?
Well, that's when I was detained and put into the detention center. There was no reasoning. It was just for that deportation. The document, the paper that I had to sign just said deportation.
It has been reported in the press that they quoted a portion of the Immigration Act that says you've been deemed an undesirable inhabitant. Have you seen that?
Yes, I heard the word. It wasn't on the document itself, but I've heard the circulation of undesirable. Yes.
Have you been told that by any official?
No.
So you just saw it in newspapers.
There's no definition. I don't know what the definition of an undesirable is. I've come here for one reason, not as a tourist, not as a filmmaker, not as a YouTuber. I've come to fulfill my court appearance. I much rather would have done this virtually, which we requested with the lawyers, but no, the DPP said I had to be in the country.
So that's what I'm not following. If it is that part of your bail conditions is that you had to be present in the country, why would a deportation issue come up if you had to be here? I'm not following that.
Well, my intuition as a semi-intelligent individual is somebody's trying to put me through as much trouble as possible, because none of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me.
But it all comes from the same state, the state of Trinidad and Tobago, where you have been charged. You're under sedition charges.
Yes.
You applied for bail.
Yes.
Part of the bail condition is that you appear in person in the country for the court case, which is tomorrow.
My court case is done. My appearance in high court in order to get my passport back is tomorrow morning.
Okay, so the matter for which the condition of the bail has been completed, but you can't leave until the high court appearance tomorrow to get your passport back.
Well, to add more complications to it, now that I have a deportation order, even if I get my passport back tomorrow morning, I have to immediately submit that passport now to immigration for another immigration hearing. So I'm not granted permission to leave now that I have this new deportation over me. It adds to the whole process. So what initially, the reason I came here was for a 25-minute virtual court appearance. Just like the first trip I was here, ends up being weeks, if not months, of back and forth requests for my passport. It's a fight for my passport and for my freedom to leave.
So your first matter, the issue of the sedition charge, you said that was completed?
No, but the court appearance was completed, and my bail had been changed in a way that I was allowed to leave the country in between hearings.
Right.
And when has that hearing been adjourned to?
Now it's pushed to 14th of January. My next year. And remember, this is not trial. These are just, they're very
trial processes.
Yes, there's no reason that I would have to be here.
Well,
but
I don't know what the court system is, so I can't say. I don't know if that's a requirement of the court system under the conditions of your bail or because of the charges that you're facing. You said you'd rather leave just now.
Yes, of course.
So that's the position you've come to know. You don't want to be here.
I haven't, nothing against Trinidad and Tobago. I had no reason to come back. Right. And if I did come back, let me come back for the 15 or 20-minute court and leave. But the whole process that nobody in the press is talking about is, see, my court case is in front of a magistrate court. Okay, because at maximum I'm facing 2 years in jail for this offense. Now, in my passport is lodged with the high court. Those are two different courts. So now, even though my magistrate court is complete and I don't have to return until January 14th, sounds good on paper, and people continue to say this, including Mr. Hines, that I'm here by option or voluntary, or I'm here filming videos. It's so far from the case. Like, I've been waiting weeks just to get in front of the high court to request my passport back. So again, it's a process, and I'm not here by choice. And a lot of people say, Chris, just leave. I can't leave. I'm on an island without a passport. My bail says that I'm not allowed to leave. So I'm doing everything I can to abide the law, but yet it seems like I'm being targeted for being.
What was the second detention in relation to?
Money laundering. What was the allegation?
And you were told that, or your attorneys were told that?
That's the document that I got. There was a warrant in which, again, police came and came into the home that I'm residing in and took all my equipment. And yeah, I was questioned for 14 hours by the gang police, undercover gang police, in regards to that evidence of money laundering.
But there was no charges. No charges made.
No, after the 14 hours, my lawyers said, prepare to be here for a long time again. But the truth is, you can't stick something on somebody that has committed no crime. There's no evidence of me committing money laundering. So how are they going to charge me with it? So after 14 hours of interrogation, they were straightforward. They have no evidence that I've committed a crime, so they had to let me go. But what happened the following day is that now they stuck this new problem my way, deportation.
And the equipment that was seized, has it been returned?
No. And equipment has been seized twice. So on my last trip,
what equipment would that entail? So
the first trip, same Mac, Apple computer, 3 cameras, and an iPhone, a new iPhone. So that was my first trip, and the same trip, like this trip, the same thing again. So it's double of everything. They got 2 MacBooks now. iPhones and 5 cameras.
But Mr. Hughes, who are your lawyers in this current matter situation? Because we had read earlier on that you had a problem with your attorneys with the price and so on, and that you were seeking to represent yourself. Is that an accurate statement?
So now it's so complicated because there's 3 different matters now. You know, I have my first criminal matter, which is sedition, which I'm currently facing myself. I do have a few senior lawyers that have sort of raised their hand and volunteered to help me pro bono. But I mean, as pertaining to tomorrow's high court, it's myself, just myself. And then we have a civil matter in which we've started proceedings against the government for illegal everything against me. We'll put it at that. I've committed no crime here, and therefore there's no reason for me to be arrested or being kicked out of a country that I have to be here. I also have some gentlemen from Fortis that are helping me with this new set of matters. So it's quite complex now. There's 3 different matters over my head, and I have lawyers for some, and I don't have lawyers for others.
What's your gut feeling about what's taking place? Well, give me your gut feeling, because you're somebody with experience. You've been around the world. You've experienced issues in other parts of the world before. What is your gut feeling?
I've embarrassed somebody. Somebody doesn't like me. I'll put it that way. Somebody is upset that I was able to film areas that they might not be able to get into. Somebody, you know, I have a newspaper in front of me, right? And I read the newspaper every day, no matter what country I'm in. Like there's no secret horrible crimes are committed in Trinidad. It's published every day, even on social media. But when an outsider comes in and says the same thing, if I'm committing sedition, where's the sedition here? Like they're just publishing the reality of what's happening in this country. I did no different. But somebody was upset that an outsider came in and showed the world what was really happening. Now, who is that outsider? I have no idea. But I know that I've committed 0 crimes while being in Trinidad.
You're not the first, and you're calling yourself an outsider. You're not the first non-national to come into Trinidad and Tobago and film stuff and put it on social media. What's the difference here in your opinion?
Well, when you say film stuff, you know, what are we talking about? Like the type of stuff that I film? I'm absolutely the first one. You know, people might have come in for a day or 2, filmed, and then left and uploaded the video from a new country. But I mean, nobody did it the way I did it, you know, going to the 10 or 12 worst neighborhoods and filming and uploading the video while I'm still in the country. So that's the difference. They left, I stayed.
So let me ask a question that people are talking out there, right? Because you hear certain things, right? And let me ask this question so we could get it on or off the table right away. Yes. Is there a political agenda to what you are doing?
No, so ridiculous. See, I have a long list of 128 countries I've visited. If you or anybody here on this table were to offer me $100 million to name the 2 political leading parties, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even do it for my life. So I have 0 agenda. I often ask many people to talk on camera. Some oppose and some say yes. Some look at this as an opportunity to say, hey, Chris gets 8 million views per month. It's worth me getting in an interview. Some people will proactively reach out to me. Others won't, right? Well, now the people on the camera that I interview, I'm just interviewing them, but they might have a reason to want to be on camera, right? Like any human, but no, I don't actively go out looking, and I could care less about politics. In my own country, I've never voted in my life, so I'm not into politics, right?
You've done this in other countries. Have you ever encountered this kind of situation?
No.
In any other country that you filmed and posted stuff about?
No, not even close.
Never happened.
Never even questioned.
Someone puts a question in the chat earlier on. If you just came back for your court appearance, why did you come with 5 cameras?
No, I came with 1 camera.
Oh, you came with 1 camera?
Yeah, I came with 1 camera. You know, people don't realize, but YouTube is fun for people, but this is what I do for a living. Okay, I'm part of an agency. I have to fulfill my duty just like anyone else. Like if, for example, Richard is going to take a week off in Hawaii, but still wants to participate in the Power Breakfast show from Hawaii, from the beach, he turns on his camera and does a video.
So that's your job, right?
Right. He has duties.
So do you have a work permit to operate in Trinidad and Tobago?
No, but I don't need a work permit. just like he wouldn't if he was in Hawaii and he logged on to the Power Breakfast Show to do the video. He wouldn't need a work permit either. I'm not taking away money from those that are in Trinidad. Okay, I'm working virtually, just like if I were to write a novel from Trinidad, and no, I don't need to. My 9-year-old daughter has a YouTube channel. Does she need a work permit? Are we suggesting that everybody that has a YouTube channel that comes to Trinidad needs a work permit? Is that what, I just want to be clear. Or is it just me that needs a work permit? Because
I'm asking a question because
no, but I'm answering the question in the manner that you're on very touchy grounds. Does everybody with a laptop need a work permit? There's no doubt when people are on vacation, they're answering work emails from the beach or from so where does the line get crossed? So no, I've been questioned by immigration many times regarding a work permit. No, I don't need a work permit to do what I'm doing. That rule has never been broken, and so there's no charges about that.
All right, Trinidad is a sovereign state, and you're a Canadian national.
Yes.
Has the Canadian embassy become involved in this in any way?
No, they're observers. They're aware of it. I mean, since day one, we've spoken on the phone. But I mean, the best they've done is they brought me juice boxes when I was in prison for 7 days, and maybe some cookies or a chocolate bar. Like, that's the best that they've done.
Were you upset? Are you upset in terms of how much the Canadian High Commission has looked into your matter?
More than upset, disgusted. I'm a proud Canadian. When you're locked up abroad and you're going through these type of problems, you hope and you wish that your country backs you, especially when there's no crime committed. Now, had I gone out and committed some vicious crime and they wanted to avoid me, 100%. I'm human. I understand why they're doing it. But the matter that I'm going through is a human rights issue. I'm being thrown charge after charge. What we didn't discuss is before my sedition charge, I was arrested on different charges, gang-related charges, that didn't stick either. So it's an obvious attempt at my freedom. So this is one of the reasons that my Team Canada, should be backing me and helping me through the situation. But as they noted, they're observers. They're not like, they don't want to get involved. They just like to.
But what would you have preferred the Canadian diplomats or officials do on your behalf? What would you want them? What have wanted them to do?
I don't know enough about what their duties are, but I often watch on TV when an American is locked up, the American embassy will step up and do whatever it takes to get that person home to freedom and get out of the way of danger. So I would expect them to do more than just observe, like have some input. I'm a Canadian.
But did you make a request of them?
Get you back. You're subject to anybody who comes into the country and has been charged under the laws of the country, because this is a sovereign state, have to go through the processes as prescribed by those laws. I don't think the Canadian officials can get involved in that situation. Right. So it has to be something else that you think that they can do.
I guess the definition of involvement could be different, right? Involvement could be, hey, let's go publish this in the Canadian news. Let's start reaching out to 100 of the biggest human rights resources. Let's speak to some companies in Canada, that lawyers that that this is what they work on, human rights, right? Let's reach out to the UN, see if there's any involvement. Let's do something. No, let's get Chris a juice box. Like there's no, when you're in a place that you're unfamiliar with, no family, no friends, you need somebody on your side, even if it's a pat on the back, that say we're here for you. We're gonna do something.
You felt abandoned?
100% abandoned.
But my question, Mr. Hughes, is have you reached out to the embassy? Has your lawyers reached out to the embassy?
So just so you understand the process, when I'm arrested, the embassy is the first one to get noticed. The embassy has known since minute one when I was arrested. So there's no need. It's not like a movie where you have to reach out to the embassy. They know, they're aware. Again, they visited me. They're quite kind people. I'm not saying they're not nice people. Right? Again, when you're in jail, that juice box goes a long way. But I mean, more than that, there's been nothing from the Canadian Embassy or High Commission at all.
There is a conversation going around because of what you described and what's in the public domain. Well, the sedition charge is one that has to go through the court system in Trinidad and Tobago. That as an aside. But because of what you're alleging, that and I'm paraphrasing, correct me if I'm wrong, that you probably feel you're being harassed. Would that be a correct assumption?
Yes, most definitely.
that because you've been now detained twice, you've been put in the detention center. There was talk about a gang charge that never materialized, money laundering charge that never materialized as of yet anyway, and now the undesirable individual situation, which is part of our law, but that has not been put on your deportation order. What's going to happen in the end is Chris Hughes is going to turn around and sue the state of Trinidad and Tobago. Is that part of your consideration?
100%. Not even consideration. It's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening
yeah,
already.
He indicated that was happening.
Yeah. Those papers.
What is your intention to sue the state for?
For everything. For not only the troubles that they're putting me through, the freedoms that they've taken from me. I'm guilty by association. You're throwing charges at me of money laundering with zero evidence because I did not commit money laundering. And I am a 46-year-old man that hopes to live to 120. So for the longevity of my life, I will have gang affiliated charges. I will have money laundering next to my name when you Google it. Okay. It is the association to a crime that I did not commit, nor was there ever any evidence of me committing. And I'll say the same with every charge that I've been thrown at here in Trinidad. Their attempt to tarnish my name is something I will have to live with far long after the sedition charge. Craziness. So will that impede my opportunity to get a mortgage on a house? Most definitely. Will there be times where I try to visit a new country and they search my name and they see this? Most definitely. My job is to travel, and Trinidad is doing everything in their power as a whole to keep me away from my job and making a living for my family. So when asked, did I initially come to Trinidad to get rich off suing the government? Don't be ridiculous, right? But time after time, you've said I've been detained twice. I've been detained more than twice on at least 8 to 10 different charges. So I'm obviously being harassed. I'm being targeted, all because somebody did not like one of my videos. Again, in my videos, no laws were broken. That's why all the charges were dropped related to gang promotion and gang aiding and abetting and gang whatever other charge they gave me.
Well, you just said the government. Are you willing to differentiate the government from the state, or do you think it's specifically from the government?
I don't even know the difference. I don't know about politics. I don't know about government and state. What I'm saying is somebody in power or somebody that has the ability to continually harass and detain me is doing their best to drive me crazy. Because I have fear at night of police.
To follow up on Paul's question, Mr. Hughes, do you believe it's somebody in the government or as opposed to somebody in the police service?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know enough about the police service or the government. I couldn't name 3 people that work in the government. My job is actually quite simple. I visit a country with no knowledge. I walk around, I talk to people, and I film. I'm often told that I give people a voice that are voiceless. I don't come and I don't do research on politics or the hierarchy of the police station. I've met very nice police officers and military and correctional officers along the way. They stop and take a picture with me, but I don't look into it any deeper than that.
Have you been back in the areas that you went where this initial issue started? Have you been back in those areas since?
No. Well, I went to St. Paul once to film a video when I first returned, but no, I didn't go to any other neighborhoods.
When, as a blogger, your trade is part of the attention economy, correct?
Yes.
Right. Would you say that your sites have been seeing more traffic since your issues in Trinidad and Tobago, or your work in Trinidad and Tobago, or your blog, your video work in Trinidad and Tobago, and since your legal issues or your challenges in Trinidad and Tobago, or has it damaged or has it impeded your site?
Damage. It's completely opposite. Like people hear Christmas list, they see the name. There's no call to action. I'm not on these TV shows like, hey, go to my YouTube and start watching my videos. So what people are doing, they must be doing is just Googling my name. So, I mean, my viewership before Trinidad was 4 or 5 times higher per month than it is right now. Look, like any other human being in Trinidad, I'm getting tired of myself. I don't want to see myself in the news every day. So it's like I get nothing from this, and it's the opposite. I can't film. You know, when I'm in other countries, I'm filming 30 videos in 30 days. Here, I don't have that ability, so I'm viewership is completely
So do
down.
you think this whole situation has damaged your brand?
100%. It's not think, like everything is factual. So if you were to look at my summary of just very basic statistics over the last 3 years, and you were to compare that to the last 3 months, these have been my last, like the worst 3 months I've ever had. Not even close. So it's not even about what I think. It's actual and factual. It has made a huge impact. And my inability to travel. I can't leave. I'm stuck. I can't go to work in a different country. I can't move
So,
around.
yeah. So, Mr. Hughes, if this problem, right, if this situation developed because of certain videos that you made in certain areas, was there ever a proposal for you to
The Wendel's frozen.
We lost the Wendell.
I think he said, was there ever a proposal to remove the videos?
I think that's where he's
move
going.
those videos and we leave you alone? Has anybody ever approached you?
No. So my suggestion during my questioning phase of the sedition is, if my videos are seditious in nature, tell me which ones, and I'll remove them. And you know, I have my disclosure in front of me. It's not right here, but it's somewhere here, where the people questioning me said, no, we would never ask you to remove the videos. Now, I took it upon myself to remove the videos for 2 weeks, just because I thought it would be the right thing to do during my locked up phase. When I was released, I asked again, is there any reason that I should have these videos down? And they said, no, we can't stop you from uploading videos. I broke no rules. I broke no laws in pertaining to YouTube. So YouTube didn't take down the videos. So when I got released from jail, I made them live again. They were always there. They were just hidden from public. But no, nobody has ever suggested or asked me to ever remove any videos.
No, the only thing that came to mind when I looked at your videos, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because my memory, because the video is not up anymore. I have to search for the video and I haven't seen it. Is you were in St. Augustine following some police involved shootings a couple of months ago. Would that be correct?
I don't recognize the name St. Augustine. Is there a different name it might have gone by?
St. John's Road. Could have been St. John's Road. Could have been.
I still don't recognize the name.
Yeah, but then it doesn't make sense going, because they were police involved shootings, and I think the word killed was used, and it had me kind of jolted. But if you can't remember it, I can't.
So no video has been removed. So any video that has been there, the title itself might change. If statistically a title is not doing well, I might have changed the title. But the videos themselves, every single video I've ever filmed in Trinidad is live on my channel right now.
So what's next for you in this country?
hopefully get out of the country. That's it. All of my equipment has been taken. I'm using somebody's laptop right now to talk to you. I don't have deep pockets, and every time all my equipment gets taken, it could cost me anywhere from like $6,000 to $10,000 to go rebuy all these items. I don't have.
So the original set of equipment has not been yet returned to you?
No, on both occasions. So
all your equipment is still in the custody of Trinidad and Tobago's system.
Yeah. So even
laptops, 2 phones, 5 cameras.
Yeah. And you sort of touched upon it and said like nothing has been like built up of this money laundering. That has been dropped. Like that is null and void. The reason I'm not in jail is because there's no evidence of that. So that is not something. There's no charge against me. Nothing like that. But the items that were taken during that warrant are still being held hostage. Yes.
Have your lawyers?
So why haven't your lawyers? Yeah, why haven't your lawyers applied to get them back?
They have. It's all part of the process here in Trinidad. Like it doesn't happen. Nothing happens immediately. So it's the due process.
What about the latest seizure? Because you would have had a laptop and cameras taken recently.
Yes.
Are they at least trying to get that back?
Yes.
And no success so far?
No.
Has anyone associated with you in the country also been questioned related to these proposed charges which never materialized and the sedition charge that you're facing?
No, not that I know of. You have to understand, when I go to a community and I interview strangers, I don't get their phone number. We're not like pen pals. We don't keep in touch. I become aware the same way you guys, and I guess in the media, become aware by reading the newspaper. So I mean, I don't know these people. I don't know how to reach out to them, and I meet hundreds, if not thousands, of people in each country. So not that I'm aware of. No.
In an interview with one of our colleagues on this platform, I think in the afternoon, earlier on, in the very early stages of these challenges that you're facing, you said because there was so much attention and because the where you were staying had been published, that you felt unsafe to a certain level. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Do you still feel unsafe?
Yes.
What do you feel? What makes you feel unsafe?
The not knowing. I guess rules are different country to country. I don't know the rules. I've never been in trouble in a different country. But when somebody I don't know how to put this without sounding like a big-headed man, but with somebody of how popular I've become due to these problems and a lot of fake information out there in news. Yet when I'm arrested last week and detained in warrant, it's released. The news releases the address where I'm at. So I mean, all it takes is one, we'll say, idiot with a grudge or that's upset or that's delusional, to end my life. So I'm always on the swivel. We live here with some big dogs, and the dogs are my warning signal. I jump up every single night when I hear those dogs at the gate barking to see what it is, what's going on. That's something
Would
I'll
you
have
say you've been treated well by Trinidad and Tobago Police Service?
How can I say that? I mean, there's
Well,
individuals.
I mean, they can do their duty and still treat you with respect. So that's where the question comes from.
Yes. I have no ill complaints against any individuals in the police service that I know. Obviously, I don't want to be arrested without evidence of a crime. But no, everyone from the people questioning me to the correctional officers in the detention center to every step along the way, I've met nothing but polite and kind, professional individuals.
That's great to know. How is your family dealing with this? Because you have a wife and children, and this must be something for them in Canada.
Yeah. My eldest son is 18. He's well aware. People that know him send him messages laughing like dad's in jail again. My middle son has autism. He stays away from social media. My daughter's too young to really understand. So my wife tries to hide the information when possible. How does she feel? I don't know. She's a strong woman. She has she supports me. And hopefully I have the thoughts that she has, and I just want to get home. I just want to get home to my family.
What is your support like in terms of regular Trinidadians and Tobagonians, in terms of what you're going through, whether it be the detention center or the charges that didn't hold? What do Trinidadians, everyday Trinidadians and Tobagonians tell you if they interface with you?
In person, it's 100% positive feedback for the people that come up to me. Look, if somebody's across the street and doesn't like me and doesn't say or interact with me, I can't read their mind. But I mean, I interact with hundreds of people every single day. Young, small, light skin, dark skin, rich, poor, and it's 100% feedback. Chris, we need you. Don't stop. Don't stop the fight. People need to be heard. Last night at 8:30, I was at a celebration of life because 10 days ago a 20-year-old boy was killed 10 doors down from where I'm living, was murdered. And I went there to visit the family yesterday. No cameras. I had a camera. Somebody hadn't let me borrow it. I didn't want to film it because I'm not about views. And they were crying to me and saying, Chris, you need to continue to show the world what we're going through, the average people here. Don't stop. Don't stop. And this is what motivates me to do what I do. I have no agenda. I'm just trying to come up with some sort of, I don't even know how to put it. I know I will not stop crime in Trinidad. And people will say Canada has more than enough problems, which I would agree to. But when I go to country, the job that I take on is I just want to document and show the world what's going on. If there's a tsunami in Japan, I'm flying there to show the damages. If there's war in Ukraine, I flew to Ukraine to show what's going on. I didn't come to Trinidad with ill intent. I love Trinidad and the people.
So that's fine. What put Trinidad and Tobago on your radar that made you want to come here in the first place?
It is the question I get asked most often, and I don't have a fancy reply. I'm going to every country in the world. This is my country 128. So I chose to go to 127 countries before Trinidad. So as you can see, it wasn't high on my list.
No, I didn't say it was high on your list. I'm asking, well, something must have drawn us to your attention.
No, there's nothing that drew me at all. I'm going to every country. There's 197.
Is this a random choice?
A random choice. I'm going to every country in the world. But I mean, since coming to the country, I wish I would have come years ago. I didn't know Trinidad was this incredible. I didn't know the people to be this kind, right? But no, there was no specific reason I came on this occasion. It was just next in line.
So who?
Go ahead.
Sorry, who would have been the Trinidadians who would have welcomed you and taken you around and so on? Because you didn't go to those places by yourself, did you?
I went to the places by myself. 99% of them, yes. It's always me. Like my resume, if you look through my videos, it's just me alone. I don't bring other people with me out of fear for their lives. Me, myself, I feel like I can control myself. As for being with other people, I would never want to be held responsible for their lives. And that's the reason I go by myself.
So you had no knowledge of Trinidad before you actually landed here?
No, I have friends in Toronto that are from Trinidad. I've eaten the food before. I've listened to some soca music. But no, I didn't know anybody in the country, no.
All right. Are you willing to take some calls, Mr. Hughes?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Our lines are open. Our guest is Christopher Hughes, Christmas list.
Yeah, 62 power, option 5, and of course, toll free North Americans in Canada, 866-525-1099. That's our numbers directly into our studio.
I can certainly see why you feel a sense of harassment, because, I mean, with the exception of this decision, which is now a charge which you're facing in the courts, I mean, being detained on 2 occasions, having your name associated, and I think the authorities will corroborate this with gang activity, money laundering, and what's the other one?
Well, now deportation.
Being, the deportation it's not something that you feel anyone would feel comfortable about in any way, particularly if you were detained and there was not enough evidence to detain you further or charge you, as I understand the criminal justice system. Call Steve.
Yep. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes, my heart goes out to you. I want to extend my sympathies. I want to extend my apologies on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago, because we're supposed to be a better country than this. I am one of the activists that keeps a close eye on police officers, and your experience it gives me motivation to keep going, to keep an eye on police officers, because clearly they are capable of ruining your life if left unchallenged and unopposed. And I want to say that it is not just the police, because I want to believe this comes from a higher up, or more on a political level, because a deportation order doesn't come from the police. That comes from immigration. So it seems like somebody high up is activating a set of different organizations to victimize you. And that is a serious problem that I'm hearing and I'm seeing that we are having in Trinidad. And they are doing it, I strongly believe they are doing it because they were embarrassed by the videos that you made, and they embarrassed the police, they embarrassed the Attorney General, they embarrassed the National Security Council, they embarrassed everybody by those videos that you made, and they are trying to activate the different organized units at the defense,
National Security Infrastructure.
National Security Infrastructure, and target all of them, put the bullseye on you. I cannot for the life of me understand how first of all, why did they ask you to come back to the country for a virtual hearing? You could have done nothing from in Canada.
Yeah, Mrs. We have other calls. Huh?
Yeah.
We have other.
Thank you.
One thing right about is the police ability to change your life at the drop of a hat. That one is true.
Yeah. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to the panel.
Morning.
Good morning.
Musliff. One question.
Yes. Yes.
He regrets to Trinidad. That's my.
All right, you're breaking up. You have to call 62 power option 5. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, all. Good morning, Mr. Hughes. I'm calling for you. My heart goes out to you. I feel for you. I ask you to keep the faith and hope that good and legal sense will prevail. And I apologize to you from the land of my birth to treat you how they're treating you. I really do apologize. I've been following you for the past few months. I just got to know you, and I feel like I know you well. You just keep the faith, sir, and we'll pray for you. Take care, Mr. Hughes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. 62 power option 5. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to the Power family.
Morning. Morning, Orlando.
No. This is Derek Neal. Listen, I had a question for Chris. Chris, I had a question for you.
Yes.
When you entered, I'm in media, right? And
yes.
when I enter certain countries, it is always ask you purpose of your visit. Now, when you came into Trinidad, what did you put down as purpose of your visit? That's my question.
So on my first trip is tourism.
Tourism.
My second trip, I'm not here as a tourist. I'm here to fulfill my obligations in court.
All right.
So that's not an option you can normally tick. So the immigration wrote it on my I don't know what you want to call it, my
immigration form.
So do you think there's a conflict there? Because I understand your explanation earlier on that, well, if you at your laptop, I travel and I do work on my laptop and I didn't get a work permit, but I'm doing work, but I'm not, I didn't think I needed, so I understand your explanation earlier. But when you put tourist on your visit and you are doing stuff that you make a living from, you understand? Do you think that's a conflict there?
But again, it's like, I'm not a lawmaker, right? And if you make a law, the law has to abide to everyone. So again, if you're suggesting everybody that has a YouTube has to now apply, well, Trinidad would first and foremost be the only country in the world. Countries want people to come and take photos. And
I'm not suggesting it is. I'm just saying
I'm not opposing you, and I understand the question exactly. But I'm saying, at what point do we stop? People make an income from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, now X, YouTube, and many other ways. So again,
but I'm just playing bush lawyer.
No, I'm with you, and I agree and I understand. So I mean, just to the caller, him working for a mainstream media is not the same as me coming with a little GoPro camera. We're both filming stuff, but we're not in the same world. He works for a business.
It's a gray area because we could also say, and I guess they may be able to argue to in court if they so desire, but that you haven't been charged with breaking a work permit to sue in the country in any way. So
my initial arrest before sedition included that charge, and that charge was dropped because there was no evidence of me breaking any work permit.
Because I was going to say, people come for Carnival all the time, film stuff, come with cameras and upload it to their sites, and nobody says anything.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Right.
So that's the other side of it.
All right, taking a couple of calls again. Good morning.
Sorry to call back, guys. But Chris, I had a statement to make to you.
Yes.
Somehow along the line, you did say that you are in media. So when you enter the country, you're supposed to tell the immigration that you're media. You can't come in and say that you're a tourist and you're uploading stuff and putting it on media. You're actually working as a media. So you're supposed to notify them as such. And that, to me, is the conflict where you're facing right now. That's what started and pulled the trigger on.
So can I answer your question? Can I answer?
Remember, you were not just a tourist uploading stuff. Like, I'm in Trinidad. You actually said you're part of media and you have a media company. So if you have a media company and you're doing that stuff, that's the conflict.
Let him respond, please.
Let me respond. I've never said that I have a media company. I don't have a media company. I'm a YouTuber. Okay, and just so we're clear, as of today's date, I've never broken any law pertaining to work. So what you're voicing is your opinion, which is fine. Everybody respectfully can have an opinion, but no, like the actual factual.
I will put up something that indicated that somehow you did say you're part of media.
No, I've said I'm a journalist. I've stated that I'm a
conversation like you having today. Anyway, guys, you guys go ahead. Have a good day.
I think you did say you work for a media company, but you say?
What company have I said? No.
I may be wrong, but
I'm a journalist. I've definitely
stand
stated
corrected
that
if
I'm a journalist. But we're arguing about apples and oranges. I have not. None of my charges are pertaining to that.
Okay. So, and that's why I asked the question earlier.
He's given his opinion that he should do this and you should do that. But I'm saying again, if that's going to become a law, then make that a law. Everybody that's going to upload to social media, because everybody on this panel has social media, and at some point you're outside of your country. So if the law is every time you upload to Instagram, you need to apply for a media, then I'll abide by that law. But you can't pick and choose who has to follow those rules.
But it depends on if you're uploading in someone's interpretation. It's part of your revenue base and can be considered work.
Because my 9-year-old daughter makes a very small commission, but she makes money. So the day and era has changed. There are people making profit from every Instagram post, even them showing a bikini on a beach. So if it's in law, if it's stated in law that everybody that makes a profit, I've been making profit online my whole life since the internet has started, even when I'm in a different country. So we have to understand that I'm not being charged with that crime because I have.
But I was going to say that's not the charge you're facing.
Right.
Chris, closing comments?
I love Trinidad. I love Tobago. I'm tired of this. I'm as tired of myself in the media as everyone else is. I get it. I'm very confident in the judicial system. I would like to go again and say police, firefighters, military, correctional officers I've met have been the kindest people in the world, even when in, we'll say, dark situations like me being detained. So I would like to thank them, everyone's kindness and support in the country. I am very confident that I will be found innocent. I know I've committed no crime and I came with no ill intention. I love Trinidad. I would encourage everybody around the world to come visit this incredible country. And if I had one wish that I could make to the world is like the violence here in Trinidad has to be stopped. Too many young people, old people being murdered. And Trinidad has so much more to offer than crime. So I hope somebody in this government or this country can help cure the problem.
Chris, thanks for being with us this morning. Appreciate your time.
Yeah,
thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.